feels like we've been going so long.
It's been 2 weeks, dude.
I know, but 2 blissful weeks of just kicking back and working 7 days a week.
I wasn't. I had to go away. Despite certain people, claiming that, we only formed for the election and, saying that we disappeared because we have nothing to say about the new government. And clearly that person didn't watch our last episode, but we're not going to call names.
No. And we're far from retired, so.
Far from retired.
But we have more pressing matters to discuss. And like we said online, we were going to address the gang violence issue that is plaguing our community.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, it's nothing new.
Unfortunately, not.
But I feel as though we are tackling the issue
Incorrectly?
Yeah.
Ineffectively?
Yeah, it's
inescapably?
Yeah, it seems like we have everybody kind of trying to take a pick of what the issues are. And the one people that you don't really have weighing in are people who actually lived or have escaped that life.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is what we should be working towards first, is to try and give a platform to somebody who's lived it, to be able to speak directly to those whom are in the same predicament as, or were in the same predicament as he is, or she.
They.
Yeah. Whichever. It's a tough one to discuss because I know a lot of people are very touchy on this subject as far as, people have been killed.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it something that we kind of tiptoe around because nobody wants to be that person to speak ill of the dead or to say something that might cause offense to those who are grieving and or have lost somebody in gang violence.
But I think that's where part of the problem stems from, the fact that we don't want to talk about certain things, or we're scared to talk about certain things because we might hurt somebody's feelings, or we might, step on the wrong people's toes. But it's like, how are we going to get stuff fixed if we can't even talk about the issue openly? Like, really. I mean, everybody, has a conversation behind closed doors and everybody says what they think. But conversations behind closed doors don't get anything done.
No.
Conversations behind closed doors are just that, conversation behind closed doors. If everybody isn't privy to what happens, or the conversation is in that room, then that conversation may as well have never happened at all. Because that's what I'm saying, like, nothing's going to come from it.
And not only that, but it's not about throwing money at various organizations.
It's not even about throwing police officers at various neighborhoods.
Exactly. It has to come from us. And now that the political arena has cooled down and we have a new government,
mm-hmm.
the majority of the people who sided with that government should now, in turn, pull their end of the weight.
Not majority, all of them.
Well, when I say the majority of people, I mean as if now it's not a political thing. Now it's a Bermudian thing. And that's what I mean. So now that we have that political arena settled down, everybody should now be pulling their weight community-wise, which means that we have to stop looking to the government to solve it, or to stop looking for the police or anyone to really crack down these issues, because as much as we hate to admit it, and we're finally I'm starting to see it online, it's awful.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful. And it doesn't belong to just any community, because yes, gang violence is predominantly black on black. Yes, that's true. However, it affects everybody. And it also comes down to, where does this fester to? And it festers in various places: the household, the workplace, and education. Now, when I say workplace, this is where the other side of the community comes in, aka those who maintain wealth or maintain businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Employees who have tattoos, or employees that dress a certain way, speak a certain way, or automatically categorized a certain way, And it leads to people speaking to them in the workplace a certain way. Now, if you're already born in a situation where the gang life seems like your best option, how exactly will an employer treating you like crap will impact you? If you already are raised in a position where you feel as though this life is what's best for you, and then you go to work and you treat like crap, it makes you say, I might as well just...
Might as well.
Yeah. So we really have to crack down on how we stereotype each other as Bermudians and how we stereotype each other as black people, because it's only
black
one or two things.
Each other. All of us get stereotyped by ourselves. Like if I had $1 for everybody that came up to me asking me for who's my weed man, or if I have papers, I didn't even know what papers meant. I'm like ID papers, like. What do you mean? Like thinly sliced pieces of wood? Like define. What do you mean by that?
I still don't know who would think this guy smokes weed. But anyway,
that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, but I address. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Rastaman. I'm like, nah.
We have two massive issues within our community specifically, and that is pacification and justification. And that is what we do. We have the habit of pacifying the situation, i.e., we look the other way.
I didn't see shit, officer.
And at the end of the day, what happens is that a lot of folks who are privy to what happens in this community as far as who done what, who's doing what, where can they find this, where can they find that, they just don't say anything. And what happens is that situation becomes pacified until it ends up on our doorstep with another dead youth or another stabbing or another act of violence.
What was it you called it? You referred to it as a
no snitch mentality.
And it's kind of sad that it's come down to that, because when you watch movies, like police movies in the States, every time they go to the black neighborhoods, like, I didn't see nothing, officer. I didn't see nothing. Keep on walking. I didn't see nothing. But Bermuda is this big. This big. Everybody that has died on this island, if you don't know them, I guarantee you know at least 4 or 5 people that did know them. I haven't known any of them. Anybody? Okay, that's a lie. I've known like two people that have been murdered. I just thought about that. But majority of the ones, I don't know them. But when I go on my Facebook and on my WhatsApp, all of my friends. Not all my friends, but a good bit of my friends saying, hey, rest in peace this person, sleep in peace this person, this is going too soon, this, and this. And I'm just like, okay, that's all fine and dandy, but what caused him to go down that road?
And where were you when he was riding crazy? Or where was you
when he was out banging?
Rolling with his boys or this and that? Like,
where were his parents? Where were his grandparents? Where was his family members? Where were his classmates, his teachers, his employers? It's not the government's fault. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with us when we say that, but I'm sorry. We cannot blame the OBA, and now we cannot blame the PLP for what is going on. I mean, I've heard a lot of people saying that, oh, well, as soon as PLP got into power, people have been dying. I'm like, okay, so the PLP is just like, okay, we're in power, go kill everybody. Yeah. No! Matter of fact, Minister Kane just rolled out a gang violence plan today. I mean, no.
But like you said, everybody needs to step up.
Everybody needs to step up. So that means that don't be sitting here saying, "Oh, what's the government gonna do?" Because I remember when we was at that OBA youth forum. And Jeff Barron was up there. All they were doing was they were asking him, "Well, what are you like going to do about children that grow up wanting to be a boss or going to be?" I'm like, what is he supposed to do about that?
What are you doing? It's one thing to facilitate children and to speak to them and give them guidance, but at the same time, it comes down to what influences impact that child's life. Okay.
Yeah, because no kid's born saying, you know what, I want to be a gangbanger.
Yeah, but it's always these small things, and it's like I'm gonna tell you from personal experience. I watched some of these guys grow up, and I'm not that old, but a lot of these guys will die very young.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched
younger than us.
Yeah, I've watched them grow up, and from the beginning, they were coming out late. They were hanging out late. They were around somewhere smoking weed.
They were hanging out late with the wrong people.
But it's all cool though in school because everyone's like, yo man, you're a beast, you're this, you're that. But then when you die, oh, how could this have happened? But the thing is, whenever somebody is murdered, typically there has always been some sort of lead up to that point. Not always. Not always.
Definitely not always. And I think the problem that we have with a lot of these guys that get murdered is we try, I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but we try sanctifying the sinners. Because it's like, we would, I remember, I can't remember who it was, but this guy was murdered. And they had a picture of him with wings and a halo around him with a spliff in his hand.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what?
Well, the weed culture is not necessarily.
No. I'm not saying that it was, but we knew who they were. We knew what they were into. But even Bermudian families has a very much a not my child mentality.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't your child, why is he going to jail for killing somebody? If it wasn't your child, why are they dead now?
Well, and even that, it's going on the days where you can count on that person to be able to deal with their child. It's come to a point now where we all have to play a part, like we used to back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
We all have to play a part in a child's upbringing because at the end of the day, whenever that's Janelle's child, she'll sort them out. No, you call the mother and you say, I see your child doing this, and I tell them that's wrong. Now, if she gets a huffy and puffy at you, well, at the end of the day, you say, well, what they were doing wrong, I let them know it was wrong. Now, that doesn't mean get around disciplining other people's children.
No, but
just
you're supposed to let them know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was growing up in these states, we had a couple of Bermudian families that lived around us, and they told us straight up, like when I was out doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing, my mama knew. Because my aunt was like, hey, Kendra, your son's out. And if I didn't get a call in 5 minutes, I was home.
Yeah.
But we don't do that anymore. Like Bermudians, we don't interact with our neighborhoods anymore. We don't interact with each other anymore.
Yeah, and we continuously glorify this life. We brush on the rug. We say, well, he was a good kid, regardless of what other people say. Or
what's
no one's saying,
a village?
Yeah, no one is saying that because someone is a gang member that they're a bad person. Nobody is saying that because this person has, made a certain choice that they are a bad person. But good people can still do bad things.
Yeah, it's not that they're a bad person. It's just they went down the bad path.
Yeah.
Like good people do stupid things. Good people get into stupid situations, and I guarantee you, if that good person that went down that wrong road had enough people saying, "Hey, knock some sense into your head, you're going down the wrong way," he wouldn't have went down that road.
Yeah.
So it really boils down to it, like, what are we doing to help this situation? Because all we do is we cry out for this person to fix it, we cry for this person to fix it. But as I have to call Minister Keynes now.
Yes, you do.
As Minister Keynes said, all of us need to step up.
Yeah.
And if all of us step up, we can get this fixed.
Little things. Like,
The island is small enough for us to fix this.
Little things where you see a kid and he's always interacting with these kids at the bus stop because he doesn't have a ride. Or kids are always rolling up to him, why don't you just ask him where he's going? Give him a lift.
Yeah.
If he's walking across these guys and you see him joining him and he ends up getting pulled into that life, one lift could have saved him. And it's like, if you have opportunities to employ, or if you can speak to some of these boys, just walk up to them and say, hey, if it's one thing that you wanted to pursue in life, what would it be?
I guarantee you it's not gangbang.
And when they answer you, you say, if that's within your parameters, like let's say he says, I want to be a painter. How about you just buy him a cheap painting kit and a canvas and just say, hey, go at it,
Like the list of little things that we can do to prevent this is wrong. You could go on for hours about this. But it boils down to the fact that we need to come back together as a community, because living in Bermuda, we're not that old. But we remember Bermuda before all of this. We remember how friendly everybody was to each other. We remember how tight-knit the community was. But it's not like that anymore. We need to get back to how things were. Because if we don't, then these are going to keep killing each other.
And that's because our divisions as a community make us weaker.
Exactly.
We keep dividing ourselves from white and black. And
division does not bring anything positive to the table. It only brings division. And there's nothing positive about division. Nah.
Exactly. And we have to make sure that we as a people understand that we have for years glorified this life. Even when it comes to growing up, you see that girls are more attracted to gangbanging.
Some girls.
Of course, it's never all of them, but you see that there are people who teach this and instill this into generations, and people who go down that path instantly become them and we become us. But
us and them is never a good thing to live by. We should never live with us and them.
But we could always snip that in the head from very early and just remember. It's just like with anything in a division. There's people who are still Bermudian at the end of the day.
Those people are,
you have the same ideals or not.
Well, those people are still your friends and cousins, and half these guys killing each other probably gonna go to this same family reunion that next summer.
Yeah, and I told my little brother, if he thinks that he getting involved in this gangbanger nonsense, there's gonna be two things that's gonna happen. Number one, I'm gonna wear him out, and I'm gonna send him straight to boarding school with my mother. Or number two, if he defies us and he does something, we as in his family will turn him in, because that is our duty. It's not about me saying, well, son, brother, I will cover for you if you show up to my house at midnight or whatnot. No, if you do a crime, I will turn you in. And you know why I turn you in? Because I'd rather you alive and hate me behind bars and reform yourself than to be dead.
And another thing that just reminds me of it before we close, it's like, what needs to stop as well? We need blindness. I know they always say ignorance is bliss, but ask questions and find out what's going on. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm tired of hearing, some auntie or some mother or grandmother or whatever older person that one of these lot be living with saying, oh, that's my son, he's a good boy. I'm like, okay, well, let me ask you something. Your good boy is unemployed, but he's walking around with Gucci bags, driving, 6 different bikes with a car, and always got a different girl every other weekend. And he's unemployed? Huh. Okay.
Yeah. And that's we have to provide ways to show that the community does not condone that behavior.
And the community's tired of it. Because I don't think the community's tired of it. I really don't think it is. Because if it was, we would have banded together to stop it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, until we do that.
And again, as we are closing, it's one thing to stress, and it's to stress the little things. A lot of people expect that this big builder of gang violence will be moved by massive actions, but it's small ones over time that will make the big difference.
We'll check out later.
That's been This Type of News. I'm Dutch Perman. That's Bruce Robinson. Let us know what you think in the comments. Peace out.